one championship, middleweight slash light heavyweight king, Aung La Nsang. Thank you so much for the time, man. I know that you've been in somewhat of a extended training camp. So talk about that and getting back into the gym at Sanford.
Well, we were supposed to fight April 10th, and then they postponed it to May 29th, and then now it's postponed to sometime in June or July. So, but during this time, I've been training. I've been training with whatever I can. Gotten a lot of private lessons. One-on-one sessions with Henry and my wrestling coach. Greg Jones. So, skill set wise, I feel like I'm better. And then as far as my cardio and my where my fitness is, I could go this weekend. I could go next weekend. So I'm in shape and I'm getting better. So
Getting
yeah,
in those private lessons, is that something that you normally did during training camps, or have you gotten more of that because of the lockdown?
more of that because of lockdown. Usually they run class after you do the group session. You're pretty exhausted. You're pretty tired. Um, I get a small group and then I get to work with the coach. Just the three of us, so it's nice.
Yeah, it
So
must be nice to focus, I guess, on certain aspects for a longer period of time
yeah,
and develop yourself faster, I guess you could say.
yeah. It's a change in gear, change in pace. Um, but when you do the group session, it's like it's a grind. It's a grind. It's a fight. Uh, it's intense. But the capacity of you learning is not as high as when you're in a slower pace, one-on-one with the coaches.
Is it safe to say that you've lessened your injuries or those little nicks and knacks, you know what I mean, in your body?
Yeah, for sure. I came off of a thumb injury, from a thumb surgery. Um, Getting this extra, I'd say like a month and a half, is a blessing in disguise for me. Um, if I fought April 10, I would have been fine. But now that I have more time to recover. So definitely good.
Motivation can be a big factor, especially in these times when the future is not so clear. Is that something that plays in your mind? Does it really play in your mind? Because it seems like you're always motivated. You're like, "Hey, I'll just fight whenever. It doesn't matter to me."
No, man, I'm super motivated, man. I'm 34. I'm turning 35 in a few weeks. I'm super motivated. I have the best training that out there, and I have everything, in the right place right now. So I'm super motivated. I'm gonna make this work, and I'm gonna make a big statement this year.
You talk about your fitness. Have you done something differently because of the quarantine that allowed your fitness to be better?
Yeah, I vetted road work. I vetted road work. I do, not a lot, but about 10 miles a week. I edit that in, and it's good for my lung capacity and stuff. Um, and I didn't do much road work before because of the intense training that we had. Um, and I was like, and so recently because of the quarantine, I've added that road work, and it's helped me out tremendously.
Yeah, the running outside is a completely different
Yeah,
type of
like
training.
I'm not much of a runner. I'm not much of a runner, and I don't do it because I want to become a runner. But it does help with how many times I can kick doing a round, and it does help with my cardio. So that's great.
You've been training for 5 round fights, oh, man, for years and years now. Do you even remember the time where you were training for a 3 round fight?
Now it hasn't been years and years. It's been like 2 years since 2017, I guess. Yeah,
Okay.
2017. So um, it doesn't matter. If you can fight a good 3 round, you can fight a 5 round. It's not that much different. It's like if you've been there, it's a lot easier than if you haven't been there. I love 5 rounders. I love going to war for 5 rounds. So
Do you feel like you shine more in a 5 round fight, like the pacing of it, and because it seems like you've been through so to say, hell and back in some of these fights, man. Like you've been going to war.
Yeah. Um, it doesn't matter. A hard 3 round is, really nice too. Um, an easy win, not an easy win, but like to get the job done within 2 rounds is nice too. I always shoot for under 2 rounds. I always shoot for within 2 rounds. I always shoot to finish within 2 rounds. But if the opponent is like, if the opponent's super tough, or if the opponent's like moving a lot, then it takes a little bit longer. But I shoot to finish, the fight within 2 rounds.
You've been training. You say you're ready to fight. The
Yeah.
UFC heavyweight champion Stipe Miocic comes out. He says, I'm not gonna fight during the pandemic because most likely he doesn't have training right now. As a champion with everything to lose, would you defend your title without a training camp?
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't, and I wouldn't I wouldn't put myself in that position.
Mm.
You know, I wouldn't put myself in that position. I put myself in the position where if one championship said, guys, we're gonna have to do an event on the first week of June, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to fight. If they say, oh, May 29th is actually good, we're gonna have a card in Manila, I'm ready. So I'm not gonna put myself in a position like Stipe Miocic, does. Don't get me wrong. What he's doing is very noble, and what he's doing is, very honorable. But I'm not a firefighter. I'm a professional mixed martial artist.
Definitely, no doubt about that. Now, the trilogy with Vitaly Bigdash is likely to happen. The first two fights were barn burners. In the
Yeah.
third, what's the goal for you? What is the impression you want to leave in that third fight?
A finish, a finish. There's no question. There's no question whatsoever. And then I want to make sure he doesn't ever want to fight me again.
Has he been calling you out? Have you heard things?
So no, but like I know, I know things like I know that he put himself as on his Instagram and stuff, the rightful like middleweight champion or whatever. It doesn't matter. It is what it is.
He needs to be confident coming in, right?
For sure, I hope so. I want him to come in confident. I want him to have a good camp. And he's crafty. He's fast and agile, and he's like athletic. Super athletic. So it's gonna be
Do
good.
you feel he has his chin? Is that something that is getting weaker as the years go by? Have you noticed that?
Maybe uh, anybody get touched with a clean shot, is gonna get that. I mean, it's like you cannot say like. I mean, you can say somebody has a weak chin, but you can't just count on that. You can't just march forward just because you think they have a soft chin. And that's what he did when he won the belt. The guy dropped him a few times and kept walking forward and got kneed in the head and got knocked out. It's like you still have to be smart. Just because you know that the chin could be a suspect, you can't just march in there and do that, because he himself is very powerful. He's got heavy hands and good kicks too.
The welterweight champ, Abasov, he's shown interest in moving up and challenging you for the middleweight title. Would you entertain that fight, or does he need to focus more on his division?
He needs to defend his belt. He lost to Luis Sapos Santos. He lost like what, a few fights ago. Come on, focus on your division. I want to focus on defending the middleweight. If he comes up, and fights a few contenders and does good, of course, I would love to fight him. I would love to fight anybody. Listen, I'm the champion right now, right? I'm the champion right now. But if there's somebody that's worthy, if there's somebody that's better than me, let's go, let's do it. And if I'm not worried about losing my championship. I'm not. It doesn't matter to me at all. I just want to put on great shows, and I just want to put on good matches for the fans.
All right. With that said, that leads me to my next question: is middleweight fighters from other promotions like Bellator or the UFC, who would you choose to bring over to fight? Like some good matchups for yourself, some entertaining fights.
Uh, like anybody, the Mousasi would be a fun fight. Mousasi. Um, anybody. Like I'm down to champion versus champion, whatever matchup that they decide to do. Um, and I know where I stand. I have great training partners. Um, for me, like this year, I want to make a big statement. I want to make I want to put on exciting fights, and that's why I don't like I don't talk. I'll just show up in the night of the fight.
Do you some people rank the fighters all around the world, and it's very clear that you dominate one championship in the weight divisions that you fight in. But do you hear some of the criticisms that they pose upon you from like the media and the fans about you need
Yeah,
people to come over from other promotions to challenge for the title to kind of prove more of your abilities?
for sure. Um, like when they had the one championship like century event. Um, what like they put more notice, especially the Western media. They put more notice on people like Brendan Vera, even Angela Lee, Gary Tonin, more than me. Which is fine, but I just gotta keep working and keep getting better. Um, like before one championship, I was pretty much a journeyman. My career wise, I was a journeyman. So, um, but I feel like I'm in the right place at the right time with the right people, and I have so much to gain. So it doesn't really bother me. Um, I'm doing well for myself and for my family right now. So it doesn't bother me at all. What they say.
Beating Brandon Vera, is that do you feel like that was the first step with the
Yeah,
eyes on the century event, beating him and finishing him was like the first step of getting like the Western world on the bandwagon, so to say?
yeah, for sure, for sure. But like I said, I know where I stand.
Mm,
I train with um, I train with UFC fighters,
yeah.
UFC champion. I know where I stand, and I know what I need to do. It doesn't really bother me. It doesn't bother me that they. I mean, they can say what they want because I mean, if you look at my history, um, I have a lot of losses too. I have like 10 losses, so it's not they can rightfully say write me off and stuff like that. So
Yeah, but in MMA, it's like everybody has losses. You know what I mean? It's you can't
yeah,
focus on the losses. You gotta focus
yeah,
on the whole picture. You know what I mean?
yeah.
The full resume.
Well, you got to look at your last last few fights, to
Mhm.
see where you are. But you are only as good as your last few fights. So I got to make sure next few fights I put on great shows and I go out there and do my thing. So
I
um,
saw in another interview that you mentioned a sports psychologist because you fight in Myanmar, which is an insane arena. When did you start working with a sports psychologist, and what changes have you seen in yourself because of that work?
it was 2000, I think, about 2016. No, it's earlier than that. 2014 when I started working with a sports psychologist. Um, and even after working with a sports psychologist, you still have your ons and your offs. But working with a sports psychologist, you know where to focus on. You know what to focus on. You know not to go into a fight or flight situation. When you're in a fight, when you step in the cage, your mind is going to be like like a deer in the headlight. You're like, oh shit, this is real. Um, but by talking to a sports psychologist, I knew where to focus on, where to put my mind in, and to be present when I'm about to fight. Because this is what happened. Like there was a time when I cut down to welterweight. When I fought at welterweight, um, and my emotion was really high, and my focus was a little off. And then I would get clipped and I would get dropped. I would get dropped, and I was like in my head, I said I never get dropped in sparring because I feel like my chin is good, but in a fight that would happen and then I would lose. And then that's also, mainly because I wasn't focused on the right things. I was focused more on what my opponent's going to do. I was focused on, this referee better not mess this up, or I was focused on my record.
Wow, that's great insight.
Yeah. Right now, I only focus on performing, going out there doing my thing, getting that finish. That's all I focus on now.
Oh, that's kind of like around the time where you're on the verge of retirement from MMA, and then
Yeah.
and then now you fast forward. Last year you signed a 10-fight contract with one championship, signing that deal from being almost on the verge of retirement in 2016. What does that signify, that deal, that contract?
Oh man, that contract is a big deal for me. It's gonna set my family in a good position. After this career is over. Um, it's it's a dream that aspiring like a mixed martial artist, the young mixed martial artists want to get to, So it's finally happened, So after 15 years of competing in mixed martial arts, I finally got a good contract, which I'm very thankful for. It just means that my hard work, my 15 years of hard work is finally made it. People in Myanmar, some of them would think that I'm like overnight sensation. Overnight in 2016 to 2017, I became the champion. But it was I've been fighting since 2005. So they don't see that part. They don't see the part where I almost retired in 2015. So. But it's with, not just with my career, it's with anybody's career. You can make it to the top. You can make it the pinnacle if you keep going and going at a steady speed.
I was talking with Tufan, and
Yeah.
he's an old sparring partner, training partner of yours from Crazy 88, and he's about to come up now. He's a guy that's a prospect, and he was I was talking to him about.
I was his coach for the morning practice that he would show up and he would show up half asleep, like. But he's a grinder too, man. You'll see. He's super talented. Like you have people that are talented, right? And then you have people that are not so talented, but they work really hard. Like Teflon is super talented and works really hard.
Yeah, definitely. And he had great things to say about you. Now, you see fighters in other promotions going back and forth, promoting the fight and getting a lot of attention from the fans and the media, mostly in North America. Do you sometimes wish you had a super villain to rival you in one championship?
I guess the welterweight champion is my super rival, huh? He's the one that's calling me out. Oh, Renier, the other guy, yeah. Renier. You know Renier, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, he said, quotation, keep my fucking belt shining, right?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know that every time we win, we get a new belt, huh? But my belts are here. I'm not shining them. They've been like that the whole time.
Do you keep all your belts, or do you give the belts to people?
No, I keep them right now. I have them, yeah. But I guess like it's too much energy for me. We're like grown adults. It makes it more like a WWE, I don't like that trash talk, I'd rather just go out there and fight, I don't think there's reason for us in one championship to talk all that trash, Just work your way up and then we'll meet.
A matchup that's been rumored to putting together right now, or it's already put together, is Galani versus Vitor Belfort. Two guys that you're very familiar with. One guy you fought, the other guy you train with. How do you see that matchup?
I think it's going to be fireworks, huh?
Yeah.
I heard it's going to be in a different different rule set. So I think it's going to be more of a striking rule set. So there's no ground fighting. So it's going to be exciting either way. Somebody's getting knocked out.
It's going to be Muay Thai with MMA gloves, most likely?
I think it might be with boxing gloves.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah. So I'm not
Yeah.
sure, but I think it's gonna be a striking fight. Yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna be that's gonna be insane.
It's really interesting, huh? I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, man, for the time, and I know you're deep into an extended camp, and you're probably ready to go. Most likely June will sometime in June you should be
Yeah.
flying over for an
Yeah.
event. We don't know yet, right?
I hope so. Yeah. I'm getting good training, man. I'm getting good training. I got to work with Tyrone Spong as well,
Mm,
and next level, man. It's gonna be good.
definitely.
Excited, man. Middleweight, man.